Yeah, what we were just talking about, how to have a playful approach to difficult things in life.
It's very different from just having a playful approach, which could be running away, or like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you engage playfully with quite big element in your life, like death or grief or health, which for a lot of people is a really rocky journey, isn't it? Yeah.
One of the themes that I kind of am only just starting to speak about is, this might be a bit off base, but how health doesn't really have any definition. Like, there isn't really a definition for health, not one that's clear. So what you said about approaching health, yeah, in my mind just then, it was a really quirky, and I don't have it fully formed, so I'm just kind of saying it as it comes out, but thinking about rejuvenation, yeah, one of the central themes of rejuvenation is that they call it autophagy.
I've heard that word before.
It basically means your cells, our cells, renewing. But autophagy means auto-death. So they define the life by the ability of the death to happen easily. And I just feel like that theme's here right now. It's like kind of like the discovering the life in the shadow might be one way to say it.
Yeah. That something has to die for something else to be born.
And that it's in the most difficult times of our life, or deep within the pain, that the gift is uncovered. Yeah, and that's true on a biological level. It's like, it's deep within the pain of when a mother gives birth. It's the pain that she's experiencing when she allows that in, that allows her hips to open, that allows the cascade of hormones that allow that whole process of birth to happen smoothly. Otherwise it's interfered with, and then, you know, everything's a lot more difficult. Yeah, I don't know how that relates to leisure, but it does, doesn't it? It's like, how do we approach leisure? Because if it was easy, then we'd just be like, okay, well, leisure's good. And so now I started experiencing leisure and playing a lot more, and everything was fine. But what's the real process that you've seen in like working with groups?
Yeah.
In inquiring into and existing in a world where that kind of natural relationship with leisure and play is often a challenge.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it doesn't always feel, I guess, pleasurable or easy. In a way, like, leisure is just life, which I think we often, because we're meant to be a certain person in our jobs, life happens more in our leisure time, no? Although of course it's not black and white like that. But it is often the time that we have to process whatever is going on for us. Things that can't in the same acute way show up when we're at work, in a way. So, I mean, I think this winter, because you sort of slow down over winter and go more sort of inward, you hibernate. I mean, at least that's what I've been doing this winter. It kind of like opened up a lot of like processing for me that I hadn't really done over the summer or in fall, when I was like doing things more active. So that felt really difficult at times. Like there was like lots of quite difficult processing and emotions coming up, because time had opened up in a way to receive that and to see that and to sit with that. So that felt like leisure, but it wasn't like easy or enjoyable at the surface, but it was meaningful, and I think that's also like, so my question in the huddle is how might we reclaim our leisure time as our time for joy, meaning, and connection. So the meaningful, in a way, is like, the meaning is like reckoning with life, and this experience of being human in this crazy world that is appearing to us, so yeah, does that answer your question? I don't know.
Like I said, it's just a response, which is a beautiful response.
Yeah.
Yeah, it answers something, that's for sure. And
yeah.
I didn't really need the question answered. But what you just said as well about that was the question being held in the huddle. I have a response to that question. Like, it made me realize that I'm holding a question about what leisure means in work. Because for the first time I've done jobs where I'm supposedly helping to organize or coordinating groups of people, which might be seen as with authority sometimes, project management, site management, that kind of thing. I've worked in construction and a couple of other roles where there was some of that. But for the first time I'm with a group of people that isn't just, it's distinct because it's not just a collective of people who've come together who don't really have, who are just going on an exploration together and are there for a limited time. It's something that has the potential to be a group of people really working to build and create something with the lens of, at the moment anyway, I really want to work towards uncoupling that, but at the moment with the lens of, not me but everyone else getting rewarded for the number of hours that is the metric at the moment that's being used. And I think, at least coming from this world at the beginning stages, it's kind of like, damn, this is kind of the only option at first.
Yeah.
So in response to your question, I know I'm going on for a bit, but I felt this really powerful question in me, which was like, it was right there when you said the question that you had in the huddle. I can't find the words right now, but it's like, how do I bring leisure into work?
Yeah.
Not just how do I bring leisure into the time that I have, so to speak. And how do I do that as someone kind of introducing that maybe, or at least intending to offer that within, actually I'm not even going to say that, I was going to say within the realities of the blah 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 and business and etc. But I don't feel I need to, because I think it's so clear if we all feel together in a group towards an effort like presenting something that you're going to do at the end of the huddle.
Yeah.
I just have so much faith that something will be created and that, it will be beautiful.
Yeah.
So what's your response to that? Like, how to bring, and you might want to give me advice, you might want to respond directly to me, you might respond in whatever way you want, but how to bring leisure into work itself.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess with the huddle, I'm not getting paid for it in a way. Like, we have a budget, and I'm not. The budget is not strong enough for me to pay myself in a way.
So you're really giving your free time to.
Yeah.
To do the hosting.
Yeah. It's paying for some of the the money I've been paying to do the training to get to learn how to do the peer process, and to receive the support to do that from the HuddleCraft community. So it's like, it's very mixed with leisure and work, and of course it's like, it's leisure because that's like in a way that's the huddle, but there's times where it feels like, you know, quite a lot of work, but it's not work in like the job kind of sense, like where you would go and you would fill a role and you would have that job and someone would pay for you, someone would like need you to do that job and then they would pay you for it. It's like I'm choosing it myself in a way to do it.
So what if you were hired to do a job and then someone said to you, I want you to be able to discover within this job what you really want to do? It's not the same way around. It's not total freedom. You've agreed to something because you wanted to, you needed to earn some money.
Yeah.
I'm just asking that question because I deeply kind of empathize, but also like can see with the other people that I work with, the team that I'm working with. That is the situation. They've maybe not just chosen and. They're working on your project in a way, like you're leading it, and you're hiring them to fill out a specific role, but they might still be really passionate about originally hiring them specifically to fulfill a specific role, and then kind of exploring, going like, obviously if it really doesn't resonate and it's a drain of energy, someone's involved and it's a drain of energy for them and it's a drain of energy for what we're trying to create, then it just doesn't work out. But if there is that engagement and it's not a drain of energy, then how to go further, and or what does it mean to go further, to like offer only do those, like what we've been doing is only work in your zone of genius, period. And zone of genius don't make it complicated. It's not like, I don't know, some whole theory or some perspective. It's like, if you realise you're not enjoying something, is find a different way to get that done. And at least 70 or 80%, that's our catchphrase, at least 70 or 80% of the time be doing something where you truly are in flow and which is something you absolutely love. The other maybe 20, 30, maybe you're doing it for the sake of helping out someone else in the team. How could we bring more of those principles in? How having gone, because I haven't had that focus, and I have this deep desire to create this harmony and to create what I see, like at times where I've really been lit up and passionate and where I've seen people really expressing their genius. I just want to see more of that, you know. I'm selfish. I want to create an environment where, you know, I see that happening in other people. What reflections can you offer on you know, from the journey you've been on? And
well, I guess in a way, like leisure, if you would simplify it, it's free time. It's unstructured time, where we're just kind of in the moment and enjoying. There's no like end goal in a way. So that's like, maybe it's even like non-time in a way. We just kind of, we're present, we're enjoying, we're existing. We're not like moving towards a specific goal or a target. We're exploring, we're being playful. I mean, I guess that's like the essence of leisure. There's a sense of like freedom in it. It's expansive in a way. So I think it's bringing that, having pockets like that, where it might be that you're working, you're producing something in a way. Like, you're maybe not productive, but you're doing something, you're engaged in something. But you're not like, you're doing it, what do you say, like, not as a means to an end, but like as a mean in itself. Does that make sense? You know, you're doing it for the joy of it. You're not doing it to like, you know, I don't know, produce or...
Yeah, that's I feel that in my body, while my mind tries to kind of bring this paradox, because that's what I've been wanting to do with this group. At the same time that, as kind of weeks have gone on, I have to take care of the family. I have to think about providing for the family.
Yeah.
And that providing being dependent on certain things. So I can see that exact what you're talking about, the mind going into this sort of survival considerations. It doesn't really feel like survival. It isn't that. I'm not that anxious. I'm not that like fearful. But more kind of just practically. Some of it is just like, I don't know, being a guide.
Yeah.
But it's a guide in a different way from just a host who can just host an open space.
Yeah.
Try to do that as much as possible. But then as soon as we start kind of working together on producing something, there are times where my role is naturally, we either don't get here or we get here by this time, otherwise this and this will happen, and you know, maybe you don't mind, but maybe you really will feel this is negative, like your hours are going to go down, because it's just, that's the case. And I find that a really tricky, and I think that's fruitful ground, you know.
Yeah.
It's like maybe you'll do this huddle and then you go on these explorations, but then you maybe have a really difficult moment in a day. Or for me, I have a really difficult moment in a day. That's the time to practice pausing and being with something. It's like it's easy to be with something when it's comfy, or another person.
Yeah. I think it's definitely, I mean, I don't think true leisure can exist within a work context. But I think we can bring moments of like being in, perhaps. More being than like doing. So there's like that balance. And that in a way is leisurely, but I don't know. Oh yeah, there's a question like true leisure, which is like really, it's freedom in a way. Can that exist within the current systems that are moving towards like, that are really a profit driven?
Maybe not on a large scale, but I've definitely met people who love their jobs so much that they truly do experience freedom and fulfillment in doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And there is that sense, like there's an aura around them of complete freedom. But it has required a worldview where they've completely, on one hand, sometimes accepted things which maybe they could have explored further outside of, like a job role.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's few and far between that I've encountered who are like that. And it's magical when I've been around that.
Yeah. Because
then it really does, it's like somehow they don't see what they're doing as having any boundaries, or they don't experience it as having any boundaries. They truly just absolutely love it. But again, it is very rare.
It's rare, yeah.
And it's amazing how those lives flower, you know, professionally and personally, because the boundary isn't there between this idea of work and play, and there's common phrases that come out, which is like, what do you mean, this is not work? Like, I would do this, you know, I'd wake up at 6 a.m. and do this, like, I love this.
Yeah.
And I just, I like to reach for the potential for that.
For moments like that, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe either perspectives, so the individual looking at life in a way that enables that for them.
Yeah.
Or environments, harmonious environments that can at least provide the highest likelihood opportunity. You know, just like you wouldn't hold a play session in a, I don't know. I've gone blank now. I was imagining like 5 different things, like a busy street where cars are driving, or I don't know, a nightclub where they're playing music and it's actually really
a corporate
horribly
office.
dirty, or a corporate office, yeah. But some of the highest kind of performing teams, unfortunately, it means that the kind of effect of their work just goes in one direction. But some of the highest performing teams really experience that, you know, play. I mean, it's Google have made such a successful environment, you could argue not just by, on one hand, their business practices, their kind of strategy, their co-opting of people's data, but if you read the story of Google, a lot of that kind of growth has really come out of them creating a play environment for people. And creating a sense of freedom, and as much freedom as possible.
Yeah.
You know, once their business, I don't know, fiscal flow allowed them to do that in a way that worked within this current system.
Yeah. I guess it's like such a rich exploration. I've heard really negative things about Google as well.
For sure. No, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's about like, you know.
No, for sure. I'm not holding them up as a positive.
Yeah.
It's sad the way that kind of free for everyone, but also for the good of everyone, has turned into this, for-profit, hidden agenda.
Yeah, exactly.
All these incentives. Yeah, I mean, and you know, societally extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't holding them up. I was just kind of saying that their growth and success came on the back of creating play spaces.
Yeah.
And
it seemed that they were able to, in a way, create maybe quite a lot of like passion between the teams. So that people, I don't know, that meant perhaps that people got quite dedicated to the work, because maybe they felt a sense of like belonging, even, you know.
Yeah, there's a real edge there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because also, when does that creating of an environment, because there's certain positive aspects, but then there's also negative aspects, like when does it become a bit like there's, you know, a bit like a cult? There's been criticisms of places like that, high performance environments.
Yeah.
Like when did it go from this creative, open, playful thing that also had the side effect of providing for people, to this kind of profit-driven, only results, you know, serving a board of directors, which means that the CEO might have good intentions, but if they're not serving the shareholders, they're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, something to be very cautious of.
Yeah.
For anyone who's involved in business, for their own selves, I imagine.
Because you might want people experience a sense of joy and creativity and but it's like, to what purpose? If it's for the purpose of doing better work that serves the profit of, like, you know, that one person and you know, even higher up in a way, you know, that's that seems, you know, because it's about the intention.
And when is enough?
Yeah.
Because it's a good thing to provide for people. I don't mean like the perception of one person providing for another. I mean a creation providing for everyone.
Yeah.
And providing leisure space and time and everything. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's all relative, isn't it? It's like when people get in environments where they maybe are earning more, than their perception of how much is a lot suddenly changes, and then you have people in circles where their perception of, you know, how much is a lot is completely different from other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost 5.
Okay, you've got to head off, don't you?
Yeah.
Thank you for going on a little playful journey.
Yeah, it was good. I love the explorative conversations. That often makes me question what I think, you know, or the beliefs that I hold, or the definitions or the things I believe in. I think always through going
Me too.
on an exploration like this, you always like start to question it. Oh, is that really true? And you start to get too curious about what other people think and like how other people experience it.
Yeah.
Fun.
I've been finding myself doing that through having started a business.
Yeah.
Suddenly I'm putting myself in the shoes of other people who run businesses or other people who are seen as very challenging. And also this sense of like caution of like, wow.